Okay, so today we're going to work on the brick in the background. We'll just try to put a couple of these. Actually, yeah, a filbert brush or a flat brush will do. And we're just gonna go in certain areas just to put those bricks in there. So I used white pencil crayon and I used T-square, and I just kind of put a couple of lines so I stay in those lines and I don't go kind of a slanted. One color that we're gonna add to the previous colors I told you about, which is we're gonna start by using burnt sienna, cadmium orange, and actually burnt umber as well. So let's start with, we're going to start with the orange bricks, and then we'll move on to the grayish bricks. A little bit of cadmium orange, because a little bit, really kind of tiny bit, because I don't think we're going to use it that much. And burnt umber. Burnt sienna, yeah. Burnt sienna. Yeah, burnt sienna, cadmium orange, and burnt umber. Let's start with burnt sienna and see. If I can't see it, then I will switch to add a color in there. No, I can see it. That's good. That's a good color. It will dry darker. Let's put one here. I'm going to take a little bit of burnt umber, put it in my burnt sienna, and put it here, right next to it. It looks right now, they look really kind of tidy and even. So once we start using the brown brush, we'll go all around and do a kind of a separation between the bricks. Take a little bit of cadmium orange at this point and mix it with the mixture of burnt sienna and burnt umber. Most of the light is on the right hand side. Over here it's dark because there's a plant coming. We're going to put a plant over. Let's put a bit here. I'm going to mix cadmium orange with a bit of burnt umber. It will dry darker, and if it doesn't, by the time it's dry, it's not dark enough. If it looks too bright, I can always glaze it and tone it down if I want. I like bright colors, but if it's not giving me the right look, then I will work on that. So I'm adding bricks here and there, and I am changing a bit the color using these, mixing the three colors I have here, just to give it variation. When I get closer to the table, the grouping of the chairs and table, I'm going to put a bit of more highlighted bricks. See, we don't need much, just a couple. All right, so once I do this, the next step is to take a round brush, and it doesn't have to be just kind of any round brush. And mine is not that great. I mean, it's not like it's old, which is great, it's fine. I'm going to take, you can take just the burnt umber we have here and add a tiny bit, really small amount of Payne's Gray, or we could add blue. Payne's Gray has a bit of blue in it, so it's a good color. I just need a darker brown. So I'm going to take my darker brown and just going to go in. Let's take a little bit more brown. I want to see the brown more than the Payne's Gray. Try not to make it even. You know, while you're painting, glance back at the at your reference. It kind of gives you good idea where to add these dark colors. Some of them are broken, so, you know, just kind of, as long as it doesn't look too, your line doesn't look too sharp and clean. Smaller ones here. And also the placement of the brick.
But sorry, did you say you just doing that with burnt umber? And paint?
Payne's gray and burnt umber, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You're welcome. This takes a bit of work, but oh, it should look good. Hmm. Okay. I usually try to pick a nice shape and enhance it. Put it there. And sometimes I ignore other ones because I don't want to put them all in there. But I look at the reference and I check which one I like. And I just put it there. And sometimes I don't add certain ones. Maybe they're too much or I don't need them. So now I'm taking a bit of Payne's gray and I'm just going to put a tiny bit of Payne's gray in certain corners. sorry, not Payne's Gray, burnt sienna. What am I saying? Payne's Gray. Burnt sienna. So you see most of the strong colors are here. Bright orangey warm colors. Now, do you want me to give you a minute before I move on? Okay. All right. I'll pause. Okay. So now I added Payne's Gray and white, and I have burnt umber here. So I'm going to take my burnt umber. I have a bit of Payne's Gray in here too. Add burnt umber, Payne's Gray, and white. That gives me a kind of an earthy tone, blue, gray. And I'm just going to come here and just kind of add a couple of highlights here and there with again, a bright or a flat. Let's take a little bit more brown into this and then tiny bit of white again. Really like kind of very careful how much white I'm putting in here. Perfect. Good. This is exactly what I want. I don't want something, I want it to be kind of random and not.
So are you using like a dry brush there?
Right.
But is it dry brush technique?
Oh, no. Well, you know what? I do this. Whenever I need to, I just do this. That's it. Just the tip of my brush. And it's more like a glaze, Margaret, more than dry. It's like a glaze. That's why it looks like it looks like dry brush, right? But it's not. It's the glaze, actually. It's not a lot of paint in here, and it's kind of transparent paint. I'm going to put some here. So I'm glazing some of these stones with Payne's Gray and burnt umber and a tiny bit of white, just to tone them down. See how the glaze, you still see the color, you still see that it is a orangey brick color, but at the same time it's not too bright. There. Tone them down a bit, and in certain areas, not everywhere, because we need that brightness. All right. I'm going to add more white. Payne's Gray. Trying not to have straight lines. This is kind of a paint on top of the brick that's peeling off. These little details make the painting look very interesting. across on a diagonal. I think I see a little bit of light. Dabs of light. Okay, good. We don't want to make it too messy. I'm going to take a little bit of brown again into the same mixture I'm using, which is Payne's Gray, Brown, and White. I'm going to pull in a bit of more brown. And just kind of glaze over some of the blue or the brown, gray that I have in here and make it more earthy. Some of it. Okay. I think we're good because we have to think that we're going to put over all this some green as well, and orange and yellow. Now, just behind the chair right here, there's a little bit of a nice detail, which is kind of, again, a grayish brown color. Okay, this is a good color. I'm just gonna come here behind the chair and add, some details. I look at the details and I look at the colors I have there and pattern and textures, and I pick the ones I like for certain reasons, because I like the fact that above the chair there's a little bit of that gray, because I'm going to be putting here a light brownish color right there. So it's nice to have a bit of cool colors behind the warm color. All right, so again, I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to let it dry, and if it needs to be kind of adjusted, I will adjust it. Right now it's a bit too bright, but that's okay. There. And might need to glaze over this part in a minute when it's dry. We're going to continue working on this. And now what I'm going to do is take a bit of sap green. We're still working on the wall. And I'm going to take sap green, add a tiny bit of either, okay, let's take burnt sienna and put some burnt sienna in my sap green. Again, that will give me an earth tone sap green or green. I see some highlighted green in the background. I'm just placing them, and then I will go over and highlight a little bit more. Okay. I don't want to highlight with white, so I'm going to take cadmium yellow medium, or even cadmium yellow medium is good. There. sap green, burnt sienna. That will make my sap green more olive, earthy. Yellow. That touch of burnt sienna. Burnt sienna makes if you put too much of burnt sienna in your sap green, it will turn brown. White. Yellow again. That's good. All right. You know, this is, I have a feeling it is not, I have a feeling, I know it is AI, artificial intelligence. It's not real picture. So some details in here are not real. Like the green, mossy green on this, on the back of the wall where the brick is right here. So I don't really have to put exactly what I see in there. I can pick and choose what I want to put in there. Internet again. Joyce. Your internet is gone. All right, I'll come back in a minute. Mm. I'm going to pause for a minute so you can continue, and then we'll put the green on. Okay, so for the chairs, we're going to put, before we do anything, before we continue with the wall, we're going to put the chairs, at least the first layer for the chairs. I have here burnt umber and raw sienna. Raw sienna is a little bit more warmer, kind of, than yellow ochre. Yellow ochre has a bit more yellow in it. And raw sienna, for me, I find that it's a little bit kind of, has a bit of red, or kind of warmer. So I'm mixing both colors, burnt umber and raw sienna. And I'm going to put the first layer. And once I do this, then the next step is to put the highlights on the chairs. But that, at least, painting the chairs, it's going to give me an idea. I can see them, and I can see, before I start putting the hanging leaves. Those chairs have a little bit of a design. I kind of simplified a bit. It's too much work otherwise. So I'm using a round brush. And I'm putting just the first layer. I'll darken the one in the back. I don't even have to put it there. The leg of the chair in the back, and then table. Okay, let's darken the bottom part. Just more brown in here. And in the reference, the back or the bottom of the table is not very clear. So I'm just going to kind of simplify it. This is more like a wood, and it's carved. So I'm just putting the first layer. Now the legs are going to be in metal. I'm going to try to do the legs in wood instead of metal. I'm not very keen on that metal. Same movement. Whatever I drew first, I'm just going to put it here in wood. All right, good. Let's do it a little bit wider. Just a tiny bit wider. Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay, let's move on to the chair next to it. Next chair. I'll put this layer and then I'll pause. Did you ever have chairs like this in your homes?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah.
They had a wicker seat.
Yes. Yes.
They don't look very comfortable for the back.
Yeah, but we have those chairs too.
Yeah, and
my grandmother's and my grandfather's house. You know what? When you have them and you don't have anything else, you don't know the difference.
I guess.
Yeah. But we used to use them a lot for the dining room or outside.
They're very pretty.
Yeah.
Well, you would have been a lot younger then, Leah, so it wouldn't hurt your back so much.
Yeah, that's yeah, true.
Those chairs are called balloon backs.
Sorry, what are they called?
Balloon backs.
Balloon backs.
Yeah. Very uncomfortable.
I think we all agree that they're not comfortable.
But my grandparents had them, and my grandmother needle pointed the chairs, the seat part, which was very, very itchy on little legs. But then I think she did about 12 of them. But when they passed away, what do you do with these chairs that Grandma needle pointed? Like, nobody really wanted them, but we couldn't throw them out. So, yeah, I ended up with none. I don't know where they ended up. Somebody must have them.
She'll never know.
No, she'll never know. But they were beautiful.
I wouldn't mind if she did.
Probably.
In those days, like Leo's right, you deal with what you have.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're good. All right, I'm gonna pause. Okay, so for this week, we have done quite a bit. I think the back, the wall is done. All we need to do is add the hanging leaves and then highlight the chairs, work on the window and the floor. It's coming along.